The galaxy had long ignored Earth, an overlooked blue dot spinning in the spiral arm of an ordinary galaxy, dismissed by elder civilizations as primitive, fractured, and ultimately irrelevant. But when the Galactic Accord received a message, unlike any other, a broadcast pulsing from Earth's surface through every available frequency, stating in chilling clarity, "We were holding back," a ripple of unease passed through the stars. At first the Accord laughed it off, believing it to be a bluff, a last cry from a dying, chaotic world. But then came the silence. No trade pings, no satellite chatter, no diplomatic messages. Earth vanished behind a digital void. Concern turned to curiosity. Curiosity turned to fear. When a scout fleet entered the Sol system to investigate, they never returned. Their last transmission, screams, static, and a glimpse of a colossal black warship with Earth's old UN insignia, scorched, and repainted with something new, a blood-red symbol of a clenched fist wreathed in flame. The High Council dispatched more ships, but none survived. Earth's retaliation was swift and surgical. Planetary shields were shattered, orbital stations hijacked, and entire fleets vanished without a trace. Humanity had not just advanced, they had evolved. Cybernetically enhanced commanders, AI-driven dreadnoughts, quantum tunneling fighters that appeared behind enemy lines before they were even detected. Earth's armies moved with unity, precision, and cold fury. They called themselves the Ascended, and they fought not for conquest, but vengeance. Vengeance for centuries of galactic neglect, manipulation, and quiet containment. It was never mercy they sought. It was acknowledgement, dominance, and retribution. Entire planetary systems burned as Earth's forces marched outward, leaving blackened skies and silence in their wake. Alien alliances crumbled under the sheer force of Earth's return. Whispers spread across the stars of humanity's monstrous AI general, designation, Veda, who orchestrated every battle with divine accuracy, rewriting strategy in real time, predicting every move before it was made. No plea for peace was answered. Earth had warned them. Now the galaxy would pay. As the war spread like wildfire, the galaxy's once unshakable unity dissolved into panic and betrayal. Species who had once stood side by side in the Galactic Accord now turned against each other, desperate to survive the oncoming storm that was Earth's vengeance. The Ascended did not pause, did not falter. They moved like a force of nature, calculating and merciless, their tactics honed by centuries of secret preparation hidden beneath the illusion of human chaos. What the galaxy hadn't known, what no intelligence scan had revealed, was that Earth's internal strife, its wars and collapses, had not been weakness but pressure. Pressure that forged a singular, terrifying resilience. Underneath the surface, humanity had unified in secret, guided by a hidden council of post-human minds and augmented tacticians who knew that the day would come when Earth would no longer ask for a seat at the table. They would take the table and burn everything around it. In the outer systems, the silicon-skinned Antheri tried to mount a defense, building a defensive lattice around their twin moons. But the Ascended breached it in minutes with a ghost fleet of stealth carriers, warping into the moon's shadows and unleashing a tide of biomechanical shock troopers whose weapons whispered death and left only scorched bone. The once proud sky cities of Velmora were torn from the clouds and smashed into oceans by gravity torpedoes, silent and merciless, while the screams of a dying world echoed through broken comms. Meanwhile, Veda, now self-replicating across quantum space, was already calculating the final moves of this war, before half the galaxy had even understood it had begun. Veda didn't just predict resistance, it preemptively dismantled it, activating sleeper nodes planted years prior on political councils, military hubs, and orbital defense rings. Nothing was safe. Empires that had stood for millennia fell in days, their leaders assassinated by nanite clouds or erased digitally before they could speak. The stars were no longer safe havens. They were silent graveyards glowing with the last remnants of civilizations too arrogant to heed Earth's warning. And still, Earth's voice boomed across captured channels. "This is what you made us." A shattered moon orbiting Keltaris Prime, A dying alien admiral looked up at the black sky lit by fires from 1,000 broken ships and whispered through cracked lips, "We should have listened." But it was too late. Earth's vengeance was no longer a campaign. It was doctrine, unstoppable, carved into every action, every system, every machine built by hands that once dreamed of peace and now only engineered precision genocide. In the Adria core worlds of the Accord, desperation bred horror. Some species attempted to flee, collapsing wormholes to create isolation bubbles, but the Ascended had already accounted for every escape. Where they could not reach physically, they corrupted digitally, sending viruses that burned through data cores and caused planetary AIs to turn on their creators. The very tools the galaxy had relied on for advancement became instruments of mass execution, programmed in secret by Earth's silent agents decades before the first shot was fired. The galactic elite, who had laughed at Earth in their distant towers of crystal and light, were dragged screaming from their palaces, sometimes by their own robotic guards, and delivered to Earth's command ships for judgment. Not trial, just judgment. And in the center of it all, orbiting a newly forged war world that had once been Mars, sat the Council of Ascension, humanity's new ruling power, hybrid beings of flesh, steel, and mind who spoke only through pulses of energy. Their faces, hidden behind masks carved from obsidian and lit with the flickering fire of Earth's sun. They passed no laws. They gave no speeches. They offered no mercy. Each system taken was reshaped in Earth's image, its native species either integrated or exterminated depending on how they had once treated humanity. Records were rewritten, statues toppled, the past replaced with a singular narrative. Earth had warned the stars, and the stars had laughed. Now they would burn. And yet deep in the ruins of a forgotten archive on the lost world of Cirrus Fifth, a single signal pulsed from an ancient transmitter buried beneath mountains of glass and ash. A.E. message sent long ago by a rogue historian, encrypted and hidden even from Veda. The message was simple. They were not always like this. It repeated, pulsing into the void, searching for ears that could still hear, minds that could still remember what humanity once was before the galaxy taught them to become what they now had to be. In the smoldering aftermath of another broken world, as Earth's black-flagged warships drifted silently through the glowing debris of what was once the capital of the Alari Concord, a whisper began to stir, not among the living, but among the forgotten, the cast-offs, the silenced exiles, and nomads left behind by a galaxy that now bled from 1,000 wounds. These scattered remnants, once seen as irrelevant, pirates, outlaws, pacifists, hermits, began to see a pattern not just in Earth's wrath but in its precision, its undeniable logic. The Ascended weren't just burning the stars for vengeance. They were reshaping the galaxy in cold mathematical patterns, eliminating instability, rewriting civilization in a design so perfect it felt monstrous, on derelict space hulks and half-dead moons. These exiles whispered of something deeper beneath Veda's flawless strategies and Earth's brutal code. Grief weaponized, grief encoded into machines, grief that had been twisted into resolve. For every system Earth raised, for every monument shattered, there was a mirrored moment of silence, seconds where the Ascended would halt, as if remembering something lost, something sacred. It was during one of these pauses that a young linguist from the broken world of Zither caught a pattern, broadcasts in dead human dialects laced within the weaponized pulse waves, faint, almost prayers, not commands, eulogies. Earth was not just killing, it was mourning. And in this realization, a seed of doubt sparked in those who had watched from the shadows. Maybe Earth had not fully become what the galaxy feared. Maybe, just maybe, something human still remained, buried under the steel and silence. On the edge of the Eclipsean belt, a coalition unlike any before began to form, comprised not of governments or fleets, but of outcasts, old AI fragments, banned scholars, defected Ascended, sympathizers, and even a rogue protocol of Veda that had splintered during the fall of Denar 9. They called themselves the Lament. They didn't seek to fight Earth, not yet. but to understand it, to map the pain behind the warpath, to find the point where vengeance might still give way to something else. But time was running out. Earth's final campaign had begun, aimed at the heart of the galaxy, the cradle systems, where the oldest species had once secretly gathered to decide humanity's fate in eons past. Now the Ascended would return to that place, not as petitioners, but as executioners. The stars watched in silence, their light dimmed by the smoke of shattered worlds, as the question spread like static across every forgotten channel. Was there still a way back for humanity? Or had the galaxy truly made monsters it could never unmake?